Ruby Dhalla, I don't know if you want to get in on the youth crime thing. You're in the big city of Toronto. We hear these horror stories, the Jane Kriba case, whatever. I mean, surely your voters want the government to get tough.
You know, definitely, and I can tell you that crime is an issue that knows no boundaries and knows no borders in this country, and especially in big urban centers. You know, one thing that Pierre Poilievre was calling this decision by the Supreme Court Justice and saying that it was crazy. I mean, you're dealing with people who are very talented and very experienced, and the conservative approach of really locking everyone up and throwing them in jail is not going to address the issue of reducing and lowering crime in this country. I was just at an inner city school this morning, Mike, and I can tell you one of the keys to reduce crime in this country is to invest in our young people, to look at the causes of why are these children actually out there, you know, causing and doing the crimes that they are. And with the conservative approach of throwing things off of the map, like social justice issues of investing in childcare, investing in healthcare, investing in our economy, we're going to have an increase in crime versus a reduction. And this is something in terms of a prevention and a rehabilitative approach that this conservative government really needs to start looking at.
Well, your colleague, though, that's the disagreement. I think she was fairly articulating. They believe that, you know, I think Stéphane Dion is beholden to the powerful defense attorneys and lawyers and the special interest groups. So we're focused on the victims of crime, and that's why we'll get tough on their victimizers.
Well, it is certainly a legitimate debate about which side here. Just before
it has to be
lose,
multifaceted, Mike.
Right now, Ms. Dhalla, a letter from the RCMP to your colleague Dominic LeBlanc today. They've looked into the Chuck Cadman affair. They're not going to lay any charges. What's the Liberal response to the Mounties' response to your request for an investigation?
We'll have to see how that matter, moves further, but I can tell you in regards to the Chuck Cadman affair, there are many, many unanswered questions. Canadians want answer. We have a Prime Minister on tape, making certain allegations and making certain statements, and I think he has to do the responsible thing. I think the Prime Minister has to do the right thing and come clean with the facts of this case, because Canadians really do want to know what the answers are.
Ms. McDonough, the New Democrats have not been very keen on these so-called scandals, preferring to go after bread and butter economic issues. In your mind, does this RCMP letter mean the end of it?
I think it means that it's time that both the government and the Liberals start to really focus on the real issues. And it's because Canadians don't want to spend, don't want to see us spending all the time in Parliament, in parliamentary committees, basically dragging something out on which the RCMP has said there is no basis for laying charges. For God's sakes, let Chuck Cadman rest in peace, let his family move on, and let's deal with the real issues of climate change, of the growing income gap, of the, really the serious erosion of a lot of the things that make us the Canada that people around the world value and that Canadians value. But we've got a Liberal opposition that doesn't actually want to deal with the real issues, so they keep dredging up and dredging up and dredging up Chuck Cadman. I mean, the
conservatives keep on getting them. The conservatives keep on getting themselves into trouble on a daily basis. Whether it's in regards to the RCMP raiding their headquarters, whether it's in regards to the Chuck Cadman affair,
and every time you raise it, they remember the Liberal scandals that got your government defeated.
We have been talking about the issues.
If I could just get in for 1 second here, Mike. The reality is that the Liberals invented a smear. They made up allegations. Now the RCMP has dismissed those allegations and said there is absolutely no evidence of wrongdoing on the part of the Conservative government. Now the Liberals will have to face accountability for their actions. They are just starting to learn the real consequences, the real legal consequences of what they've gotten themselves into.
Are you referring to the
Here, I
Prime
have to say
Minister's
accountability
lawsuit?
and trans.
Can I just hold on 1 second? I think I'm getting a hint here. Did I just hear you obliquely reference the Prime Minister's lawsuit against Stéphane Dion?
Well, the reality is that they manufactured these smears, and now Stéphane Dion and the Liberal Party are going to be accountable for what they've done.
So the Mounties say nothing to investigate, and rather than leave this in Parliament, you're actually going to pursue the Liberal Party outside Parliament?
The Liberal Party has behaved irresponsibly in manufacturing a smear that it repeated outside of the House of Commons, and now they are just about to learn of the full consequences of their irresponsibility.
Uh-oh. Here we go again, Mike. It's like smear scandal, smear scandal, smear scandal, instead of dealing with the real issues. We've had tens of thousands of people lose their jobs in this country in the last 4 or 5 months. We've got an unemployment insurance system that is deeply flawed because it was gutted by the Liberals, not repaired by the Conservatives. So we've got people losing ground. We've got families that can't afford to educate their kids or meet the health care requirements because the real issues aren't being dealt with. So
Final 10 seconds.
That's
to
what
Ruby Dhalla.
my constituents are telling me everywhere I go in my riding.
Mike, if I could just say, first of all, Harper and the Conservative government need to realize they have to stop being bullies. At the end of the day, they talk about accountability, they talk about transparency, but it has been nothing but hypocrisy. People are losing their jobs in this country. This government needs to get to work. They need to have a plan for the manufacturing sector. They need to have a plan to help laid-off workers, not insult Ontarians. They need to ensure that they stop pressing lawsuits on people and actually start getting to work for Canadians.
I won't mention the whole election bid and whatever. Thank you all for joining us today.
Thank you.
Have a great
Thanks,
long holiday weekend and enjoy meeting your constituents over the coming week.